Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed Aston Villa 0, Middlesbrough 0, a result that sends Aston Villa to Wembley into the playoff final. They were defending a 1-goal lead from the first leg and it was a very, very tense occasion at Villa Park. Villa made one change from the team that won on Saturday up on Teesside, Johnston in goal, and it was Bree who came in for El Mohammadi. Hutton, the other fullback, although fullback loosely because he was just going to follow Traore wherever he went. Chester and Terry, the centre backs. Jednak sat in front of them with Hourihane and Grealish, central midfielders. Adoma, former Middlesbrough player, down the left. Snodgrass down the right with Graben up the front. Borough also make one change, the defensive one for them too. So Randolph in goal, Shotton, and it's Fry who comes in for Ayala. Gibson the other centre half. Friend played left back. Clayton, the defensive midfielder, with Besic and Housen a little bit ahead of him. Traore off to the right, Downing off to the left. Assombalonga up front on his own. A very, very noisy Villa Park, 40,500 and something in there, and big noise from the kickoff 5 minutes in. Grealish has one charged down. Back heel though, out to Graben, his shot put out for a corner, and Bree shoots over. Villa starting fairly well, but they have a very hairy moment in the Middlesbrough goal on 9 minutes. Hourihane charges down Randolph's kick. I always say that could go anywhere. It goes out to Graben. Can't do anything much with the rebound. Not much in the first 10 minutes. Good run from Friend. He beats Snodgrass and Bree. Bree started very nervously. Overruns it. He goes right down the line and he overruns it. He's trying to win it, but he does dive in a little bit on Johnston in the goal. Obviously, there's the reckless challenge shouts and the red card shouts, but he takes a yellow for that one. The Villa press is quite good at this point, quite spiky for them. I expected them to be a little bit more back foot on their defending, but they were really putting it about sort of first 15 minutes there. Driven corner by Downing, free header by Housen. He's coming in sort of back corner of the area, and you think head that across and someone else can put it in. Does nothing with it. Hourihane with a trickler after good work by Adoma. Borough starting to put some territory together leading up to 20 minutes. This was the most sustained period they had. They gradually came into it, as you'd expect being the away team. Tense stuff. What I would say summed up that first half of the first half is the standout players seemed to be Jednak and Clayton, the two defensive midfielders. Yeah, it was all about snuffing out attacks and not giving anything away. So those two got on the ball a fair bit. Snodgrass in off the right. He plays in Adoma. He's in the box. He's one-on-one with Shotton this time. It's a great low cross. Hourihane's arriving in there, and it's a brilliant last-ditch tackle by Friend. If he'd have got anything on that Hourihane, he was right in on goal. Could have just scuffed in and would definitely have been a goal. Snodgrass goes in late as the ball breaks and takes a yellow. Villa with a corner cleared to the edge, headed back in, falls to Chester. He swivels on it. He's not a forward though, so he swivels quite slowly and shoots wide. He's well marked, but decent enough chance in this tight game. Amazing run from Assombalonga. This is, I think, a counter-attack from a corner as well. Picks it up right in his own left back spot, and it's one of those where the two defenders there's two running with him and they both end up leaving him, and you know when there's one there they normally make the tackle, so it goes in between both of them. I think he just runs out of steam at the end there, but he went all the way from the left back area to the inside the 6-yard box there. So great work from Assombalonga, but nothing doing at the end. Interesting one on 44. Hutton, the man marker, he takes a yellow on Traore. He ends up kind of bear hugging him, as we see quite often when that guy gets away from you. So would be an interesting second half for Hutton, always more difficult to man mark on a yellow card. So it gets to half time, close stuff, very tense. I would say the first 30 was really tight, but the last 15 minutes of that half, Villa came back and Borough came into the game. They passed it better than Villa, and Villa little bit caught in that we're defending a lead type scenario. So it looked good for Borough at half-time if they could then go on and just push on that little bit more and maybe put a little bit more attacking intent into their play. Certainly the passing was good. As I said, Jedinak looked strong. Bree, I don't know how much he's played. He looked very, very nervous and possible weak link for Borough to approach. Lots of yellow cards floating about, but lots of slide tackles and full-blooded tackles. A typical Pulis versus Bruce. Nice to see that, really. Lively-ish start from Borough. They pick up where they left off in the second half. Good play by Shot, and he gets a really good header in field. It goes out to Besic. He moves forward, drives it goal with the left foot, puts it wide, and Downing has come storming over his shoulder if he chose to pass that there. We know Downing's always a good option in these tight areas. 55, Villa get out for the first time in the half. Borough did have all the territory for the first 10 minutes of that half. Big noise goes up. Grealish wins them a free kick, but Snodgrass puts it into the wall. Huge chance for Villa on 58. Counter-attack down the left. Adoma does really well. Clayton's covering Shot and passes Adoma onto Clayton. So Adoma sees the chance and goes past him. Puts the cross into the 6-yard box. Graben's arriving. I think he gets a toe on it. There's a point-blank save from Randolph in the goal for Borough. It's one of those ones where he waves a foot at it, any kind of shot or power, and he scores that one. Grealish takes a yellow on Traore. Villa starting to compose themselves now, and the pressure is starting to move on to Borough. You're kind of seeing the clock tick, and it's a bit like, look, you guys have got to score a goal here somehow. And you can see the Villa players waiting, right, what are you going to do? Because it's been however many minutes there, 150 minutes, and you haven't scored past it yet, so you need to do something different. Pulis puts Bamford in for Assombalonga. Middlesbrough fans, I was a bit surprised by that change. Assombalonga is a proven goal scorer if he gets chances. He did not have many chances in this game, and you think he'd softened them up, and as it wore on, maybe if they'd gone 2 up front, the chances would have come, but it's like for like, so not necessarily, I mean, with hindsight, not necessarily the greatest substitution there. Graben holds it 35 yards out. Everyone's screaming for him to pass, but he hits a good shot, spins about a bit, and Randolph has to tip that one over when he probably just wanted to catch it. Adoma curls one. That gets deflected pretty close, actually. Then a bit of a chaotic bit. Penalty shout on Hurahan in front of the whole end. Then all the way up the other end, Howson's in a good position, but it's a cross right through the 6-yard box. Nobody there. So now Pulis makes the move that I thought he would have made. He puts Gested in for Howson, so he ends up with Bamford out to the left. Still doesn't want to put 2 people up against Chester and Terry up the front there. It's still a 4-3-3. Downing drops into centre midfield. So an attacking change, but maybe it was the system that needed to change. Grealish tries a curler. That one's going in. Randolph, 2 good hands on that and pushes it out. Shanky effort from Bree. That goes over. Graben, who did a lot of running. He was isolated badly tonight. Midfield was saying, look, you've got to score past us, so we're going to drop back. Even Grealish was coming back. It was Jedinak sitting, and pretty much a line of 4 there. So good shift by Graben. Kodja comes in for him. Adoma has a low shot blocked, and then Besic takes out Grealish and takes a yellow. Pulis, another quite attacking substitution. He puts De Silva in at right back for Shot, and De Silva obviously a bit more dribbly, a bit more pacey, but the system still stays the same. Hurahan, bit of a tame curler on 82. Whelan comes in for Hurahan, so you now have your second holding midfield player on, Whelan, to stand alongside Jedinak to see this last 5-10 minutes with stoppage time out. Brilliant flick by Downing here. The ball goes forward mid-air. He diverts it over the fullback. De Silva gets into the box. Bamford and Gested are on the back post if he has composure. He stands that up. They're both big guys, and the combination of both of them may have won the header, but he tries to put it across with pace. Misses both of them in a good position. Now Now here's the controversy. Remember, I've just walked straight from the ground. I've seen no TV replays and the signal is crap in Villa Park. So if you know different to me because you've been watching on TV, then let me know in the comments. Chester lets the ball bounce. I think it's Bamford who chases in. Johnston comes out. Now, I haven't read up on the rulings here on the handball by the goalie. So Johnston seems to come out and he handballs it outside the box. Now, again, I don't know the wording of the law. I know if it's a deliberate handball in the box, that's a penalty. I don't know whether a deliberate handball outside of the box just because you're a goalie is a red card. I assume it would be denying of obvious goal scoring opportunity. So I would think, I could have got that completely wrong. I'll read the rules when I get some web signal. I would think that John Terry was covering and that he didn't deny an obvious goal scoring opportunity because Bamford was trying to win the ball and it's not in the box, so the deliberate handball thing, you know, all a bit of a confusing one. But yeah, be interested to know what the actual ruling is on that. So Johnston takes a yellow card for handball outside the box. Downing has got the free kick right on the edge of the box. He hits it as best he can, curls it, hits the top of the bar. It's a really good effort. If anything, he was too close. I know the Dutch striker Pierre van Hooijdonk would always move the ball back so he could have it further away in those positions, but in these days of magic spray on the ground, unlucky Downing. He did all he could with that given the size of the Villa wall. Bjarnason comes in for a domer, so really shoring the midfield up. There was 4 minutes of stoppage time. Substitution occurs in that to kill a bit. Lobbed into the box. Bit of chaos here. De Silva shoots left-footed, but that's blocked. It was a half chance and it was through the crowd. And Grealish and Whelan managed to hem it down in the corner and they keep going to secure the 0-0 and win the tie. So, job well done by Villa. It was tense, but it never got really tense. And I think the reason for that is just the experience of this Villa blob in the middle of the pitch with Chester and Terry, Jedinak in front. Villa had the luxury of knowing, in the same way Derby did last night, they had the luxury of knowing they could sit back. The difference tonight is that Fulham is Fulham and they'll pass you to death, whereas Borough didn't manage to build up that much of a head of steam possession-wise. So yeah, job well done. Pragmatic performance by Bruce. It was what we have, we hold. If we can get away and get a goal, we will, but we don't need to. Off you go, Graben, you're up front, kind of 4-1, 4-1. And they did the job. Like I said, looking through the team, only really Bree, you know, inexperienced. I mean, Grealish is mercurial, so he kind of doesn't fall into the guy who's going to get affected by a big occasion type criticism, because he probably rises to it. So that seems to be what stood Villa in good stead. Obviously Downing hits the bar, maybe some controversy with Johnston handball there, but Villa fairly good value. The story of the game, you saw Borough maybe 30 minutes through to about 60 minutes, they were on top. Were Villa holding them at arm's length? No real clear chances, and I just feel that the substitutions when they happened, that Assombalonga deserved to stay on, so if and when the chance did come, he would be your guy there to take it. Maybe Gested could have come on with him and just caused a bit of extra anxiety for them and lose one of the wide guys. But fairly gallant by Borough. I mean, they've lost over 2 legs to a goal, 1 set play goal from a corner, so I suppose they'll feel a little bit hard done to. I thought Clayton played well for them. Good base at the back of the midfield, swept things up, did well. They just couldn't get through. Hutton was man-to-man on Traore, played him well, and fair dues to Adoma, because Adoma got right in front and sprinted back every time Traore was there to help out Hutton, especially after the yellow card there. I did wonder what would happen at some point if Pulis said to Traore, look, go down the middle, see if you can play on Chester and Terry and see what Hutton does, but they never tried that for any point. So for Middlesbrough, the context is Monk up until half a season. Did they waste time there? Pulis comes in, they get into the playoffs. Traore, the sort of standout player. But where does this leave you, Borough fans, for next season? Are we coming to the end of people like Downing? Can you hold on to assets like Traore and Gibson in defence? Let me know what you think and how you think the turnover is going to be next season. Certainly a whole season with Pulis and backing from Steve Gibson, you would think your points total will be pretty good next year. Villa fans, I suppose you're thinking about Fulham now, and can you win that game? It's a different challenge. Borough, similar-ish side to Villa style-wise. There's no one like Fulham who just keep the ball and keep the ball and keep the ball and will not change. I was at Craven Cottage when Villa played this pragmatic style, albeit without Grealish that day, and they surrendered 2-0 to Fulham. So it's going to be an interesting playoff final. Villa fans, let me know what you think of the job Steve Bruce has done. A lot of money spent last season and he's got it organised this season. How do you think the playoff final's going to go? Clash of styles. Are you going to be a bit more offensive, or is that same pragmatic experience going to see you through in the final? As usual, everybody, let me know your comments. If I've got anything wrong, please tell me. I've only seen the action once. And if you disagree with me on anything, also smarten me up, especially if you're... I'm a humble Ipswich fan. If you're a Villa fan and you're a Borough fan, you inevitably will know more about these teams than I do. So I'm always interested to hear. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. And I'm off to plan how I get a ticket for the playoff final. Thank you for watching.